Alright, here let's show these text input field for the user to paste the URL and also write a title. So scroll view is still within the scroll view. Let me just use text input, and here actually this is a self-closing component, so let's do it like that, and we write here value link. So that means I think first we have to just focus on creating the state. So const in the state we want link, set link equals to use state. Next one, we allow them to give it a title. To each link, set title equals to use state, and we also want to know the loading. Set loading use state, we give it a value of false. All right, and then when user submit the button to submit this one, we need to send the link and the title to the backend so that we can save in the database. Right now we can write a function for that, handle change and handle submit. We need two things, right? So handle change will grab the user input and set the state, so we use that for that, and then const handle submit will send it to the backend. All right, now handle change, what we're going to do is we could actually just do it inline here, value link, and then on change text. I guess this is important, don't just use on change, it should be on change text. So that's how it works in React Native. In web we would just use on change, but React Native, this is how we do it. So on change, you get the value. Okay, so whatever user is typing in, you get that value, and you can put that value in this state. Now you could directly do it like this, set link, and you could just put that value. However, we're going to fetch the content of the page, the URL, to, it's a kind of a web scraping, so we're going to use a npm library that makes our job a lot easier. So that will fetch the page original information, for example the image, title and description, meta title and meta description, and then that one we're going to store here, and that one we will be saving in the database and also showing the preview as well. So that's why it's better to use a function instead of doing everything inline here. Okay, so on change text, what I'm going to do here is value, or in fact let's call it text. You can call anything you like, and then we give to handle change, you give the text. Okay, so that means we will be receiving the text as props here. So the value, we bind it to this state, and whenever user types something in, we give that value to this function, and this function will eventually populate this state. So actually we can do that right now. Since we're going to fetch some information about that link, we're going to make a request. So let's use async await. So we try catch any error, console log the error. So here set loading, first thing we want to do, set loading to true, set link, that will be text, so whatever user have entered the URL, that will be received as text, you can see here. Then we have to make a request using Axios. Actually it might not be Axios, it is we're going to use one of the npm packages for that. So while we do that operation, that might take 1 second or less. All right, so let's just use some timeout just so that we can get a feeling of how it's going to work before we actually implement that. So set timeout takes a function. We can use arrow function here. First argument, second argument is the duration. So let's say 1 second. So that's 1000 milliseconds. All right, so in 1 second, let's say we will get all the information about this link. So for the moment, let me just write here link pasted, and we can console log the link as well. I guess this is just to see how everything will work. So until now, and then in the following lecture, we're going to fetch the information about the link using that npm library, which will do the web scraping for us. Okay, so that's handle change. So we got the value, we got the on change. Next one, we basically need to just do some styling here, because if I save now, okay, so we have the text input I saved, but you cannot see here, right? Now if I try clicking, it might be somewhere here. Actually, you can see it's really hard to notice where it is. So let me just give it some, apply some styling here. So what I can do is, first thing, I can give it some border width 1. Okay, links daily. Actually, we are on the wrong screen. Sorry about that. Let me just go here. Can't find variable use state. Use state. Oh, sorry, that's a typo there. Okay, let me go to post, and now you can see we have that text input. Now if I remove that one, if I remove the styling, as you can see, okay, so you can barely see here, you can type, but without styling it is really hard to see. You can see the blinking this line, but otherwise it's hard. Anyway, so let's apply some styling. So that's border width 1, border color, let's give border color, let's give the apply gray color. Now you begin to notice that even though it's a CSS, it's slightly different than a web, right? So when you writing your styling for the website, it would look a little different, but here in React Native, some properties, some names, some styling you apply a bit differently, like this. You can see here, you can set the border, you can set the colors this way. Height, let's give the height of 50. All right, margin vertical, so you can see it is going all the way to the edge, so we don't want that. So a bit of a margin vertical, let's say 30. Sorry, that's vertical, up and down. And margin horizontal, also we can maybe just apply 10. So that's better, not going to the very end. Border radius, so we can make it kind of a circular. Border radius, let's give value 30. Okay, so that's looking nice. And padding, so that you can see you don't start typing from the very edge. So let's give some padding 15. Okay, so that looks better, bit of a padding. So that's looking good. That text input is looking good. We can give it a placeholder as well. Paste the URL. Okay, so we got that placeholder. Beautiful. Now when you paste the URL, whether you paste or you type, you don't want to auto capitalize like that, right? So let's fix that up. auto capitalize none. Okay, and then autocorrect also you don't want to enable. By default it is enabled, so autocorrect false. Okay, now HTTP, this one should be capital C. Okay, now let me, sometimes you might have to reload. You can see still it is showing capital letter. I've been doing this it's quite manual work. Now I discovered the new shortcut for iOS on my Mac, and that is $R. If I do the single R, then it will start recording the screen, but if I do $R, it will reload. But unfortunately it is actually active. The input is active at the moment, so it's not working. Now if I try $R, it will reload. Okay, so let me try. Okay, now you can see it doesn't auto capitalize. Okay, so http:// you can try that, or you can try codecontinue.com, something like that. Okay, that works. Now whether user paste the URL or manually typing, we have to find out, and based on that we can start to somehow get the preview for this link. Now unless the link is completed, for example google.com, now until user types the full URL, we cannot start making requests to get fetch that preview of the URL, otherwise we will be making too many requests, right? So if they paste the URL, that would be nice for us. So if they do something like, let's try codecontinue.com. Now if they copy the URL and paste like that, that's easy. Immediately as soon as we get the URL, we can just make a request to fetch the preview of this URL. But if they are manually typing, then it's a little bit hard, because you don't want to make too many requests on each time user types, right? So we'll tackle that issue, that's right. But we have created our very first text input here.